initiation tool, not as an initiation tool. You can do that when there's like no stuns and nothing to cancel, like a Shrunken Head Tempest.
Yeah.
But in this case, he knew that it had to be used as an initiation or a counter initiation tool, and he showed a lot of patience, and it really, really proved to be successful. But we are actually in the second game. Both the teams have started. So let's go ahead and jump into it, guys. This is Game 2 of DmSn versus what was Team 50, now in Bunker Down. And Bunker Down will be taking that Hellborn side, and DmSn taking that Legion side. The blind bands have finished. It's Wild Soul Ophelia coming out from Legion, and Pebbles Fade coming out from Hellborn.
Yeah, I keep wanting to call them 15 myself.
I know.
I'm just so used to it. You just 15. It's been a name that's been around for a little bit now, but they want it to be known by Bunker Down here in this event. That is what they signed up with, so we're trying our best to give them what they want right there. So, but you talked about the blind bands happening. Nothing crazy there. Fade was blind banned by both teams last game. This time only by Bunker Down. And Glacius the first lock, followed up by Bubbles Aluna. So yet again a strong start to the lock pool here. You got that Suicide, you got the two very strong supports. We'll see again last game as well. Very, very strong lock pool indeed. So seems like these two teams, obviously again, there's so much on the line. Eventually that trip to DreamHack win in 2012, but even have a chance of competing for that, you have to win this matchup. You lose here, you're done for the event. You win here, you get advanced on to that great group stage where you guarantee yourself at least 7 best-of-3 matchups over the next week and a half. So it's going to be a crazy schedule, but you get a lot of playtime.
You definitely do. Now, in this lock phase, they're actually picking, or locking, I should say, sorry, very safe heroes so far. And, you know, Glacius, Bubbles, Aluna, nothing out of the ordinary. We see these heroes frequently, like, all the time, it seems like. Engineer actually locked up from Caspe as well as a Plague Rider. So, yet again, nothing too out of the ordinary. A little standout pick coming out from that Engineer. But one more lock to finish from Team Bunker. Why did I say Bunker Down? Bunker Down, and we'll see what their final lock here.
Speaking of Bunker Down, that's Artillery. That's actually one of his ability names. Now I think about it, and you know,
yeah.
I wonder if that has something to do with maybe they like artillery. Who knows? I kind of just stretch a little bit, perhaps, but. You never know. Maybe that's where they got the inspiration of the name from. Torturer is going to be the final pick here. Of course, we have Dendy's Jungle Devos, and, well, we never see Devour really picked by them, so you got to wonder about that a little bit, too. But, yeah, Torturer the final lock. You mentioned the Engineer on top of that. Maybe just a little bit different there, but still powerful heroes nonetheless, and wouldn't be too surprised to even see picked out of that lock pool. But banning phase has now begun. So let's take a look at how that goes. Now, again, a big thing about last game, we brought it up during the kind of mid-match there. You gave your thoughts on it. They did choose to go Moon Queen over Draconis.
Right.
So you got to wonder maybe if that game could have been a little bit different if they went with the more sure pick in Draconis.
Well, and I even thought that Bassett's was going to pick up Draconis as the first pick. And I'm trying to go back and remember what they actually first picked. Let me double-check here. I will have that.
They first picked
Tempest.
Tempest, that's right.
Yep, they wanted to have that jungler with the other junglers being banned, being both Parasite and Ophelia. But Parasite actually not banned just yet, so let's look at those bans. We got Tundra, Polywog Priest, Tempest, this time actually banned, Demented Shaman, one more ban apiece. And so will that Parasite get banned? It's a good possibility. It was banned out last game. We'll see what they change up this game.
Well, any of the carries be banned. You still have Silhouette, Mage Bane, Draconis, Dark Lady, Forsaken Archer. I mean, they're all still out there, so... none of them been touched yet. I mean, Moraxis going to be the follow-up. Of course, we saw him last game, and as I said last game in the picking stage, seems like a hero that we see banned really majority of the games in the phase, so not a big surprise to see him there. And the final ban is going to be the Keeper of the Forest. Was ran by DmSn last game, but 15 will go ahead and ban him this time around. So all those carry options for both of these teams. So we'll see which of those, if any, we eventually get. Magmus, though, is actually going to be the first pick.
Yeah, there's so many carries on the board. It kind of seems silly to pick one up right away. But Bunker Down, they could easily pick one up right now because they get 2 picks right away. So it goes 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1. Yeah. And so I would not be surprised to see them pick up Draconis, especially here. That hero seems to be the favorite among all those hard carries. But yeah, Magmus first pick. I think Magmus is such a strong hero. I don't really see a problem with that, so long as they give him a good lane to get good farm. And again, I hate seeing support Magmai, I'll say.
Yeah.
And I think he's much better suited getting the farm in a lane, especially when you have something like like an Aluna in his lane to just completely dominate it. So
Jeremiah is on the board too, and I'm blanking actually if he's even banned last game. I think he was, but he is on the board, so always a hero to worth mentioning in the picking stage. If he is optional, will be picked up. Nymph 4 going to be the first response over here from Bunker Down and Behemoth. So the Nymph 4 Behemoth combination coming out over here. Behemoth a fun here, at least in my mind, to watch. So we'll see now how DmSn, their final 2 picks of the regular picking stage, finishes off here. Again, all those carry options, you got to think, especially looking at the lock moment, there's not really any carry options there. So if you want to carry, you definitely do it now. So we'll see what they go with.
And Behemoth is a great hero against Magnus. Obviously, the stun, you can target it on anything. So you can get him out of that steam bath to get a good kill on him. It also it kind of disrupts Magnus a little bit. Like, the long-range Fisher just makes it really easy to counter him. Say you see him in the corner trying to get that Blink ultimate off, and you can still counter it with a long-range Fisher. I mean, that Fisher spell is just one of the best in the game. It really is, as far as canceling the counter initiation coming out from the other team.
Yeah, it is a very, very powerful ability indeed. And I remember way back in the day, you know, when the game was, yes, there was a point where the game was all about turtling, and that was really like old school early on. And I know Behemoth was just really, like a go-to hero because of that. So Silhouette going to be the second pickup here for DmSn. So there you go with one of the carry pickups. And now their final pick, it's going to be Myrmidon, actually. A little bit different there, but that is the setup of a possible Myrmidon tri-lane. You know, maybe like a Myrmidon Silhouette Magnus even. So, and if you do have that point stun for Myrmidon, we talked about that, it can work. Darkly to the quick response, by the way, for 15 with their carry.
Yeah, this is actually, speaking of old school, Breaky, this is like old school tri-lane at its finest, but they're actually going with the Engineer. I would have expected maybe a Bubbles would have been amazing with Magnus. Bubbles is a great counter against Magnus, but on top of that, Bubbles-Magnus combination is very strong, so they opt out of it, and quickly it's picked up by Bunker Down. They go with the Bubbles as well as the Luna, so a great lineup right there. What are they going to finish off with the DmSn? I think Torturer might be the best bet. We'll just have to wait and see, though. They do go with Torturer. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure. Are we going to see some dual lanes or just a straight-up tri-lane? But either way, it's going to be a little awkward.
It is, and, you know, I agree with you. I'm a little bit taken back by the Engineer pick. I mean, again, they did lock it themselves, and maybe they have just something in mind that really works with it. And again, Engineer, obviously, she has her potential, in this case, she being the Rosie Engineer. But to first pick it, especially when you locked it, the chances of 15, a Bunker Down picking it up themselves, probably isn't the strongest, especially with what else was on their board. I mean, hell, they got a Luna Bubbles, very two strong heroes on themselves. So I think they could have saved that for the final pick, rather than they could have gone with that Bubbles instead. But they did choose to go with the Engineer and then eventually Torture to finish off. But I'm with you. I really don't know what we're going to see here from DmSn when it comes to the lane setup. It looks like, well, all of them pretty much heading top, except for Torture is going bottom by himself. So that's one guarantee. Torture will be a solo bottom. Magnus does buy Hatchet, so he's going to be in some type of farming role. And it's just a matter of how they split up here. Yeah,
Behemoth is playing the farming role in this tri-lane, and it's going to be a Behemoth, Luna, Nymphora tri-lane. I love this lane, by the way. It's so strong. Anytime you have an Luna Behemoth combination, it is just massively strong. I mean, the long-range nukes just synergize so well. The double stun, and you put on Nymphora on top of that to feed them mana so they can spam it over and over. They might actually die for a first kill here onto this Torture. Can he juke this stun? No, he cannot juke the Fisher, which actually blocks him. There's the stun to follow. Doesn't get the back end of it, unfortunately. Is the Fisher still going to be in place? Oh, it's going to be very close, but the power throw from Rhythmy actually gets credit for the last hit. So very good setup with an early ward coming out from Rhythmy, actually. So good start to this game for Bunker Down.
Yeah, that's the power of Behemoth right there. It really is. I mean, and again, it did receive a nerf, and eventually it's one of those cases where it met halfway in the end as far as the duration length of the Fisher stun, but it lasts for so long, especially in cases like that at the very beginning. You're like, when will this freaking wall go away? You keep trying to run through it, but you can't. Great block up, though, from Behemoth. Having that range, put off the perfect stun, and there was nowhere to go for Torture, and that obviously set up the eventual blow of those kills. So excellent start here for Bunker Down. They're going to sit here at the bottom lane. We do see the switch up, though, right away from DmSn. Mirage Hunter, he ends up going all the way to the top lane, and he's already blocking the creep wave as a result of dying so early on. That's pretty crazy. But we do see the tri-lane switch up here from DmSn. It is going to be a Myrmidon Engineer Magnus. Talk about the most crazy tri-lane setups against one another. This is just true aggression. I mean, both sides have an amazing amount of stunts to work with.
Yeah.
This bottom lane, there's going to be action down here.
I know, it's going to be crazy. But I will say that the Aluna Behemoth combination, again, is so strong. Just being able to dish out tons of damage at a long range. And on top of that, you got the Nymphora just feeding them mana. So it's going to be more on the side of DmSn's going to have good, like, perfect initiation. Yes, the Myrmidon is very easy to set that all up, but it's only level 1, so until he gets like level 2 or maybe even level 3, not going to have really the most damage. And Behemoth, don't forget, is a strength hero, so it has naturally a little bit more health at the start.
Yeah, you see right there. And man, a farming Magnus versus a farming Behemoth, though. I'm still a little taken back by that. Not too often we see that, but yeah, it's pretty cool to see nonetheless. And again, definitely a lane where I'm sure in the next minute or so, there's going to be guaranteed action. I mean, level 3s are going to be huge at the bottom side, so I'll do my best to not stray away from it too much, but there are other lanes here as well. Middle lane matchup, and speaking of that, Bubbles versus Silhouette, a matchup that we see from time to time, not usually in the middle lane though, usually is in one of the side lanes, but in this case happening to be middle, Smack Donald taking on DM from Russ, and right now, Smack Donald 3-0, Bubbles 6-0. Bubbles actually winning in creep farm, although taking a lot of harassment.
Yeah, it can be back and forth, but I definitely give the edge to Silhouette. I mean, his auto attack damage. He actually did opt out of the Relentless Salvo. He is going to go for an early Death Lotus leveling up, which I think is okay. I just think that the damage you get from that Relentless Salvo procs when it adds up can really do a number on a squishy hero like Bubbles. And Bubbles actually gets an early bottle, gonna get this rune top. It's a regen, so he's off to a great start in the lane that I feel like he should lose.
Yeah, that's very good news here for the Hellborn team and Bunker down, of course. It looks like they want to set something up here at the bottom lane. The power throw was even used, but actually dodged by Magnus, so no damage happening onto him. Aluna is still level 1, mind you. He's been sitting really far back, not leeching up the experience. Behemoth is level 2, but he gets jumped right there. The Wheatfield actually misses as a result of the Kegson, and that may be the saving grace for Behemoth. And I think it was. That is really unfortunate. It's one of those cases, like a Fissure Stun, like a Feral Mummy Wall, like a Keg Stun from Engineer. It could screw you up, and right there, it no doubt did for Myrmidon.
So yeah, I missed that. What happened? The Keg Stun just
it was a Magnus pointed stun. It was great initiation. Myrmidon Wheatfield right on top of that, like you would expect, but the Keg Stun hit Behemoth and knocked him away from the Wheatfield stun. So he didn't even get stunned by the Wheatfield as a result.
They just simply need to coordinate it better then, I guess. And yeah, that's a very, very good point. You're going to have to coordinate that better. Say Myrmidon, you stun immediately right after, or Engineer, you stun right away after.
Or if you're Engineer, you just wait. Be patient enough for the Weedfield to go through before, because if anything, that just makes it easier, obviously.
Right.
So, yeah, but yeah, coordinate or communication, as you said, is definitely needed for that to follow through. And that's unfortunate because they missed. And now we see right here the Magic Carp going to be used on Aluna, as well as a lot of damage. Magma stunning on an Nymphora. You see Myrmidon, no Weedfield though, already used. Again, a lot of action down here. Keg stun on Behemoth, pushing it forward. Engineer is so close to death. Going to activate the health potion though. We'll be fine for now. The auto attack hits. There's the finish stun. The final auto attack will take him out. Now Myrmidon's actually trapped as well. Myrmidon will go down. The fissure trap right there proved to be so effective for Bunker down.
Yeah, he did need a tree to try to get in the right route to walk down there through the trees, but it just wasn't enough. And ultimately, it's too much damage into this lane. And they're playing it really well, but at the same time, yeah, that one missed kill can really make a difference here. And already porting back right away, so hopefully Bunker Down's able to regen a little bit of mana. And I'm not sure what Bassett's going to get. Let's check the courier, see if he bought anything. He does have, what is that? Is that his? No, it's actually, yeah, he's going to go for the early Ring of Sorcery. So he's got that at about 150 gold or so. And let's check out the CS scores and the other lanes.
Well, Behemoth is going to drop right here. There we go. Yeah, so that was much better execution. It was the Magic Carp on the Lava Surge done, then the Weedfield, and then the Keg done. That's exactly how they need to do it. And Behemoth stood no chance right there. So great kill at the bottom lane. You didn't mention talking about creep score, though, I believe, in the middle lane. But speaking of that, Aluna is here with the invisibility rune. But Silhouette playing passive. She definitely knows something up. They do have a Ward of Sight down here, so I wouldn't be surprised if she saw something. And
that might have been their cue to initiate on the Behemoth, seeing how Aluna was gone, as well as this Nymphora. So job well done. Behemoth actually is conceding this bottom lane, and is going to try to get the gank onto Silhouette along with this invisible Aluna. Silhouette knows something is up, though, so good job by Smatt Donald. He's going to play very passively, and if he's able to dodge a kill here, that's going to waste a lot of time from this Hellborn side, and it's going to give a lot of open farm.
There is a Kelfield, though. In fact, here we go. The Kelfield's going to come out. There's a Fissure Stun, and, yeah, nothing Smack Donald could do right there. I mean, he was playing already so passive, but Aluna being there with the invisibility, the range Fissure Stun, the Kelfield from Bubbles. you just weren't going to get away. So not poor play by any means. That's just, again, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Nothing that Silhouette could have done. So as you said, they used a lot of resources and time, sure, but they got the kill in the end. So really, it was worth it for Bunker Down right there. Top lane.
Yeah.
We haven't talked too much about it. Dark Lady versus Torture. They've been going at it. Both are level 6 now. Torture 26-2. Dark Lady 33-4. So Flensmeister doing a pretty good job up here.
He had a little bit of an early start with Torture switching up into that top lane and got an early Iron Shield. And that proves to be very effective against ranged heroes, especially when you're a Dark Lady that you can CS in many different ways. Your auto attack, your hatchet, your Taint Soul. So it's going to be hard for Torture to eventually get enough damage onto this Dark Lady to finally take him down from full. And actually, as we're talking about him, the gank coming out from Bubbles is going to set up a very easy kill onto this Torture. He does get the stun, but a good juke from Flensmeister, ultimately getting the last hit there.
Yeah, he's like, thank you for clearing out the trees for me. I'm going to go ahead and finish you off now. So, yeah, obviously a decent attempt from Mirage. I know he's dead really anyway, so figured he'd try to give it a go, but got caught out, and it was just a great gank setup from Bubbles, who's now, since he's hit level 6, he's gotten both the kill in the middle lane and the top lane. So Bubbles, DM from Russ, of course, he was Tempest last game, doing a pretty good job this time around on Bubbles as well. So, again, helping give his team the early start here, and we're now in 1,900 gold lead about, as well as experience not really too much, but only 7 minutes in, so still fairly early. We do see the bottom lane, though, Behemoth going to get comboed, and this is what we're talking about. There's the combination. Will it be enough for a kill, though? No, it will not, at least just yet. Behemoth will finally fall. The Fisher Stun on the wrong side, unfortunately, and Magma's more than fine. He activates the health potion. He says that man mode down, balls to the wall, baby. Rhythmic going to be picked off right here. The heal from Nymphora, just not enough. And down goes Aluna. Now, this is something that I wanted to bring up a little bit earlier, but bring it up to you now. What do you make of Nymphora's build? She is passing up her Grace of the Nymph. I kind of feel like, especially in this lane, that would be so powerful to at least get 1, if not 2 levels in.
Well, that's what I was talking about at the very beginning, on just being able to feed that Aluna or Behemoth mana constantly. But maybe they figured, okay, Behemoth is farming very well. He's going to have a very early Ring of Sorcery. I don't need the mana. Maybe that's his thought. Also, the turning potential. There's the Stumble Stun coming out onto Magmus, and right there, actually, the snipe coming out from Rhythmy. So if it wasn't the snipe, it was going to be that heal bomb from Nymphora.
I don't know. I think he could have stunned out right there. I think because of the power throw hit just before the heal went off, he would have stunned and maybe stayed alive. So
you're very well right.
That might have guaranteed the kill, actually.
Yeah, it was very close. So good porting by him. But I actually don't mind necessarily so much the pod choice. Yes, the mana is very strong in this lane, but having that turn potential against what's a very huge burst tri-lane. I mean, Magmus, we're seeing it. Magmus, Myrmidon especially, not even the engineer in the mix, but it does so much damage, and having an extra heal can really help you turn fights.
God, the top lane, Dark Lady, near death for her against Torture, but Dark Lady was just barely able to sprint away, and she did choose to kind of go the noob G route here, going the Ghost Marchers over the Steam Boots, and right there I think it did actually pay off, at least in the Speed Burst. You can argue maybe with the more life it would have been different too, but hey, she was able to Speed Burst away. She uses some regen as she has it delivered, and she's going to go back to continue to farm at the top lane. In the meantime, Torture back at base, actually. He's going to have to port back, whether it's to that top lane or maybe something else, maybe in the middle lane right here. Kagston going to be dodged. A great take cover from Bubbles. And I say great because actually that was a pretty good reaction simply because Engineer was invisible there. So it's not like he just ran up and then used it and he saw it the whole time. He came out of an invisibility rune, I believe, and was able to still see the Kagston just about to hit him. So using that take cover just before. So good reaction, staying alive. And instead, Silhouette will just go back to trying to farm her best here in the middle lane. But the bottom lane continues to be a little bit of back and forth. Behemoth against Magmus, and they're both actually around the same goal per minute, really about a 5 goal difference here in goal per minute between the two.
Yeah, Magmus going for the early Steam Boots, and the Ring of Sorcery is now picked up on Bassett, so he should pretty much be spamming this. All 3 of the heroes on each side. There he goes with the spam. It's going to do a lot of chip damage to this Magmus. Actually, the Keg stun, really good stun. It's going to push him into tower range, but not enough damage. But yeah, they should be spamming their cooldowns every single time they get a chance. Myrmidon might be in a lot of trouble. The Carp does hit Behemoth. He takes a small stun, but he's going to be okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen Wakes here on Engineer even use a turret. Obviously, we've seen the Kegstone keep flying, but A little bit curious about the trail. Right there, though, I did double check, and he actually didn't even have enough mana to maybe follow up on that behemoth. But it's another tool that definitely could use all the bubbles coming down, and this is going to be big, actually. Kelfield expect that. There's a Song of the Sea. There's a Kelfield. Magnus, nice health push at the last second as well. The power supply is going to be fine for now. Myrmidon will fall. Magnus stuns back in. He's trying to get away. Oh, he's not going to be enough, though. He will fall. But the Portents here from both Silhouette and Torture, and they are going to get a couple of return kills so far on Bubbles and Behemoth. Now Nymph 4 and Luna on the run. Silhouette chasing. She has a regen reenactment. She sidesteps right there on the Sills. The back end hits, though. Smackdown, unfortunate for him. But really, it's going to be unfortunate for Sweet Pro because he will fall as the Portents held big time right there for our Legion team. So smart decision there from DmSn.
It ended up being like, what, a 2 for 3?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, they're still having a Dark Lady that's just free farming up here, though. Pretty much uncontested. And she's going to have... does she have her Sustainer yet? No, she does not. But she's still farming, you know, top in the game, 375 gold per minute. And you got to definitely favor the Dark Lady in the late game to Silhouette. I mean, those Dark Blades do so much damage. She might get ganked up here in the top lane, though. The Myrmidon here is off to the side. Magnus here wants to get a stun. Here comes the Nymph Port behind. Can they maybe bait a stun here on the Dark Lady? That might be what they're looking for.
It is just Nymph 4, though, because meanwhile in the middle lane, actually Bubbles leading the way, and they take out Silhouette. So what looked like to be a possible gank attempt on Dark Lady to the top lane, instead of their own carries taken out. Now bait here from Torture, but there's a reaction, but Torture barely alive. The Magic Carp coming out, the Weedfoot already used, and Torture trying to turn in chain reactions. He misses, actually. He went for a turnaround kill, and they're not even going to get it at least just yet. Charging strikes from Dark Lady. They are going to catch Nymphora. So in the end, they get her. But yeah, Torture missing the stun. That put him in range for the final auto attack. And now here comes the cleanup crew. Myrmidon's picked off. Magnus does not have enough mana. Now he does with the power supply. Will stun over the fissure stun. And he will be fine. Engineer ports in, but that will be that. But still, Torture, very risky move right there. Did not pay off whatsoever. And like I said, it ends up not only being pick up on your Silhouette in the middle lane, but also a pretty good exchange for Bunker down at the top side.
I mean, he could have just simply lived by running away, but he ran back, and Zetpro was like, sure, I'll get a kill on you. And his voice is probably got to be like, sure, I'll get a kill on you, or something like that. But DM from Roos picks up yet another kill. This player, I think he's the ringer, but seems to be doing work for this team, but playing a great Bubbles right now. Gets another kill on their carry, being Smackdown, playing that Silhouette. And they're going to push this to mid lane in response, and that's going to definitely jump their gold up. They're at a great lead right now, 5,400 in gold, 3,300 in experience. Yeah, things are looking really, really good for Bunker Down.
Yeah, it's obviously they're up 1-0 here in this best out of 3. This is the round of 32 for DreamHack Destination DreamHack. 3 more teams are going to be earning that spot to DreamHack Winter 2012 as a result of this event. More specifically, this round, the winner will advance onto the group stages where 16 teams will play it out in 7 best-of-3 matches, where the loser, they're going to be done for the whole event. So again, this game is just for so much more play time, so much more experience, and of course staying alive for that eventual DreamHack winner trip. So definitely a lot here, especially for DmSn, though. They are behind 1-0, and now down here in game number 2, really fighting for their tournament lives here. Myrmidon in the front lines here at the top side. I got that one sound bug, Nymphora just poured. It's just going off in my headphones. It's always crazy, yeah. But we do see there's the lead Kelfield coming out, or the Magic Carp, the Weedfield missing. And actually, Luna will just walk away as if nothing happened. So the gank attempt unsuccessful. Myrmidon, oh, wow, I'm all over the place. Nymph 4 and Behemoth at the bottom lane in the meantime. They're going to counter push, and unless we see some quick reactions here, this could be a decent push into a tower kill. As, yeah, Fidget's not even going to clean up the creep wave, so a lot of pressure going to come on this tower now.
Yep, definitely. They use the Nymph Port down there to just give Behemoth a little bit more farm. He now has Striders, and he's well on his way to a Blink. He's lacking a little bit in the levels department, but then again, so is Magnus. He's only level 8. And top lane, Luna's up here. Maybe we're going to try to get something set up here. The Nymph Port is down for another 30 seconds. So if they want to port up there, they're going to have to use their natural TPs. They do get a tower down here at the bottom, though, so definitely making the best usage of their time, as all 5 members of from another dimension are up here sitting in the top lane, not really getting anything done. In fact, even Myrmidon is sitting at very low mana. So if he wants to fight a fight, he's not going to be able to cast more than 1 spell, maybe 2, if he regens a little bit. But yeah, they're wasting a lot of precious time up here. And Bunker Down says, hey, just keep wasting your time. We'll sit down here, farm this bottom lane, even push it. And then we'll be ready to TP and fight for you, fight for this tower when you actually do decide to push.
Well, exactly. I think that's what they're waiting for. And Nymph 4 ultimate just coming off cooldown about 10 seconds ago. But they say, if you're going to stay up there, we're going to keep on pushing. But here we go. There's a jump on the bubbles that Wheatfield will not catch. Actually, he counter jump. Great Saga to stay on top of the Kelfield. In comes Darkly. And for a port, I'm sure is happening. Yes, it is in the background. Already 2 players dead. Make that 3. Magnus and Myrmidon trying to stay alive. Myrmidon will fall. Magnus goes down. And it's a genocide right there. GG, well played are being called. DmSn has had enough. And basically a 15-minute concede victory here for Bunker Down, a.k.a. 15, and they are going on to the group stages. As a result, what a finish to the series. Again, game 1, DmSn especially, they had their chances. It seemed like they could have come back on points, but in the end, just a little bit too powerful. That game, though, that was all Bunker Down right there, really.
Definitely. And you can question a couple different things. You can question the play. You can question even that very end. I mean, maybe they were a little bit desperate, but stunning into the Bubbles right there and comboing onto him, that was just kind of a silly move. Bubbles was able to turn it onto the other 3 heroes wrapping around. Got a great Kelfield on top of that. The Dark Blades from Dark Lady hit all 3 of them, silenced them, and just did so much damage. That was game over right there, no question. But you got to also question the drafting and giving them Bubbles early on instead of taking Engineer. I think that was a big factor into why they ultimately lost that game.
We both brought it up there in that locked pick stage. I mean, again, they locked the hero. The chances of the opposition picking them up, again, there is a chance, but is that really the worst steal in the world? I mean, like I said, if you're picking a Flux, if you're picking a Kraken, maybe you really do want an Engineer for obvious reasons, but their lineup, it's not like Engineer was a must-need for that lineup. So that definitely raises the eyebrow a little bit and puts some question marks up there. But, again, this is an event like this is a chance for teams like From Another Dimension to get more experience, and hopefully they did. I'm sure they did. But it is unfortunate for them, though. They are going to be one step short of getting onto that group stage, which, like I said, I mean, sure, those DreamHack prizes, obviously that's the big part of it. But also for a lot of these teams, it's also getting to that point just to get a lot of experience because you're playing 7 best-of-3 matches, or at least that's what it's scheduled for really just under a 2-week period here in Competitive Heroes and Newer. So that's quite a bit of action that you're going to have to go through, and definitely going to be a lot of fun, I'm sure. But DmSn falls short. Bunker Down, a.k.a. 15. They are moving on, though, and definitely wish them the best of luck in that group stages, but it is going to be a tough group stage, no doubt.
Well, I'm just happy to see them get there. Again, I mentioned at the beginning of this cast that they had a rough road as far as the last time, well, even the tournament before this Redemption tournament, but or not this Redemption tournament, but the last Redemption tournament, in the online Summer Championships, they had a rough game against Team Pikachu and a huge round. I think it was around like 128.
It was like right before or just like a couple rounds before the group stages, yeah. So.
Yeah, and it was easily the most even matchup before we got to the group stages, and it was like, you feel bad, but sometimes that just kind of happens sometimes. It ended up kind of happening again here, but clearly they were the better team, so I'm excited to watch them and how they compete in the group stages. Yeah,
definitely deserving. As you said, they were in the Redemption event nonetheless, and they actually did do fairly well in that, so that was good to see. And then here they are in the Destination DreamHack, and they're going to be one of 16 teams in those group stages. So a little bit of information on that, guys. I don't have an exact team list just yet. Of course, I'm sure other matches are still finishing up and everything throughout the day. If you do check DreamHaunt.com, the brackets are on there. So if you do want to get an idea of which teams perhaps are going to be moving on, definitely go to those brackets and check it out. As far as tomorrow goes, so like I've been saying, we're going to be starting coverage tomorrow of the group stages. We are going to have a special broadcast. It's not on the Honcast site just yet. I'm going to be sure to put that up as soon as possible. But a special broadcast actually an hour early. It's going to be at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, 2000 Central European Time. We're going to be doing a group stage selection show. We're going to try to make it very quick, very sweet and quick, about 20, maybe 30 minutes at the most. But we're going to do live here on Honcast group selection. Those are always a lot of fun, guys. We get to see which teams are going to be playing which, who's going to be in what group, and so who they're going to have to match up against, of course. And again, the top 3 teams from each group will move on to play in their kind of just own mini-series, deathmatch style, best-of-5 format. To see who's going to DreamHack Win in 2012. Yes, indeed. That is going to be epic. So tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun, guys. And then after that, at 3 o'clock Eastern, 2100 Central European Time, will be our first match from the group stages. We'll see what it is tomorrow.
Don't even know.
Don't even know until basically the broadcast time. But, hey, it's going to be good no matter what, I'm sure. So we'll be sure to choose a great one for you guys. So hopefully you had fun tuning in today. But know that this is just the beginning of our Destination DreamHack coverage. And what's going to last, like I said, for really the next couple of weeks here on Honcast. So
Yeah, it's going to be great. Make sure to tune in all the time. Again, HonTour.com is also up yet again. If all of you guys have been in the cave for the last weekend, HonTour has been announced. It is finally here. So make sure you check out that website. There's all sorts of cool things there. And get your profile set up there. That's, again, HonTour.com. Again, check out our new website at HonCast.com.
Yes.
Also, we mentioned Team 15, or what is now Bunker Down, they also played in that Redemption tournament, which I did mention in the top 5 games, or I think, yeah, top 5 games of that tournament. I think I listed it as actually number 2, and it was a hilarious game. If you haven't checked it out already, go check it out at honcast.com at that news section. And you can even check out the VOD there. It gives you a link to the VOD as well. So
yeah, I promise you, again, I know the website in the past has definitely had its down moments. I'll be the first to admit that. But we do have a brand new website, and we are making sure to make it the best tool possible for you guys to check out for a daily purpose, whether that's VOD content updated daily, whether that's written articles, and just information in general, as well as an upcoming broadcast schedule. If you go to honcast.com and then the broadcast section, it actually has our upcoming schedule for really the next couple of weeks here, all the way until all the way until November 10th, to where the Hon Tour event officially starts.
Yeah.
Apparently, of course, before that we'll have the Hon Tour qualifiers beginning. But so we have our coverage schedule, guys, for really the next month and a half even. So you guys know when Honcast is happening. And you guys can be sure to kind of even schedule around that, perhaps. So we're having a lot of fun here. I'm sure you guys are, but this is just the beginning of some great coverage and some great content that is going to be coming, guys. So check out those websites, honcast.com, hontour.com. Check out our Twitters, at TrelfHon.
And at BreakyCPK.
Also follow Honcast, at Honcast, and the Facebook and everything. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no. So I'm just check us out. And follow me on hontour.com.
Don't do that. Follow me. Don't
I have
follow
like,
this guy.
hold on. I gotta check out how many.
He will make broken promises.
No. I will be
not.
following through 825 followers. How many does Breaky CPK have? Hold on.
Broken promises.
Hold on. Let me check this out.
That's all I gotta say.
825 to.
All right, guys.
687.
Let's not worry about that. So come on, show him up, guys, for me, and great things will happen for you. So. With that said, though, guys, we're going to be wrapping it up today, so enjoy the rest of your Sunday, what is of it. But tomorrow, we will be back, like I said, the group stage selection show. That's starting an hour early, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, at 2000 Central European Time. So until tomorrow, guys, have a good night. Big congratulations once again to 15, a.k.a. Bunker Down, for moving on. I'm Breaky CPK. Joining me was Ralph Medor. Shout out to Killer Orange as well, our producer. And shout out to you guys for tuning in. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.